I'm a rock star, I'm a raised like rail. I ain't taking L's in Madden all year.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I got you guys the spread Y flex mini scheme part 1. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So in part 1, what we're gonna be talking about is gonna be actually to play circle. But before that, I want to talk to you guys about personnel. So starting off normal, your personnel is actually gonna look like this, where you have 3 receivers and a tight end out there. But if you want 4 receivers out there, which I highly recommend, you want to go ahead and go to the strong slots package right here. And what that does, it actually puts your tight end out here where Brandon Cooks is. So all you'd want to do is just sub in like a receiver who you wanted out there, boom. And then you could, let's say I wanted Brandon Cooks here, and let's say I wanted, Kute here. So one thing you want to make sure you don't do, please listen, because I will have some of you guys comment and say, I can't get 4 receivers out there, or that package doesn't work. Make sure you do not sub in anybody right here. So no, you can't come in here and sub in Jordan and then try to actually use the strong slot package, because it won't work anymore. You will no longer be able to have 4 receivers out there. So please make sure you don't make that mistake, because I remember I had a couple people when I put out a video in the past, they were like, hey, I can't access this, I can only get 3 receivers and it doesn't work. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that. So let's go ahead and move on. So the play in part 1 that we're going to be talking about is circle. Now, this play right here is only in the Ravens playbook. Please listen, only in the Ravens playbook. So don't try to, use like the Bucks or somebody else and be like, hey, that doesn't have it, because this is only in the Ravens. But play we're talking about is circle. And don't worry, I'll be showing you guys. So basically, I'm going to show you guys like 2-3 setups that I really love out of circle, and then I'm going to show you some gameplay using each one of those setups. So hopefully you do enjoy this, and let me know that you enjoyed this by dropping a like on the video. That really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. But let's go ahead and get into it. So actually, let's go ahead and sub in a safety right here. So let's put somebody like, I don't know who's good. Let's put somebody like Black right here. So plays I'm showing you against, I'm showing you against man, I'm gonna show you against, some cover 4 palms, I'm gonna show you against cover 3, and I'm gonna show you against cover 2. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So first things first, I highly recommend you run this play to the field. So what I mean by this play to the field is that crosser. You want that crosser to be able to have room to work and get open. So this crosser right here is the one I'm referring to. So if I move the ball over, then it's pretty much shortening his crosser. Now, it's not mandatory. You can still run it the same way. The reads still work the same way. It's just that's how I prefer it. So for the first setup, you actually gonna love this one. There isn't a first setup. So this is legit. You can literally just quick snap. It's the best quick snap play in Madden, and the reason why is because you have a lot of reads open. So you have R1 right out the gate. Hopefully we can buy a little time here, and then also your next read is actually going to be square, even though I took a sack. But quickly I'm going to hop into replay, and I want to kind of talk to you about the things that are open against cover 3. So right off the gate, this is always going to be your first read. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This should always be your first read, because there's actually nothing that covers this right here. Now, a hard flat is the only thing that has a chance, but the thing is that they put a hard flat, we'll have this out route, even though you see we still have this out route. So if they're not zone dropping, this guy's going to get a press animation. Every time you get to press animation, you'll have this out route screaming open. So what, we have 1 read that's open, we have 2, if I can get on there, 2 reads that's open, and look, we also have this, which is getting open as well. And the reason why is because they're already programmed to kind of come down on this route, and so that's why he actually initially came down, because he's, basically, I hope I'm explaining this right, but they actually programmed to see this route coming. That's why he came down, and we're going to use that to our advantage, and we'll be able to hit this ball right here in that little gap. So we potentially have about 4 reads open right off the gate against cover 3. So you can tell already there's no way a user can make can play all that. So you just have to make that read. So next thing I'll kind of show you what it looks like against cover 2. Now cover 2, very, very simple as well. So you see R1, boom, that's going to get open. Now the thing I like too is that square can actually get open if we don't get a throw out, a sack, interception. But quickly I'm going to kind of hop into replay, kind of show you the things I like on cover 2, show you what the user should be doing on cover 2. And yeah, then I'll be moving on with that. So normally in cover 2, your user's going to be somewhere about here. So if the user's here, more than likely they're actually going to play this route right here. Now if they play that route right there, that's fine. Why? Because then we'll just have this wide open. So that's why I said that this play is just really, really good, because you're either going to look for R1 or you're going to look for square for an easy dot, and it's normally going to be that easy just because of the way the play design is set up. So last thing I kind of want to talk about, actually I'm going to talk about man coverage first. So let's talk about man, right? So if they're playing man, you can still run this stock, yes, but your reads are gonna kind of change. So I always look for this route right here. Now if they're playing man and they're playing like a purple, this could potentially be a touchdown, or this can potentially be a touchdown, depending on if they're pressing or not. And also this out route, I love to look for that against man. It also just depends on who's out there. Now obviously G Alexander, that's probably not going to be open, but we'll see right here. Yep, you can tell just how they played that. Now if you have a bad matchup, do not throw it. Simply do not throw it. Now if they're playing man, what I prefer you to do is actually just take X, put them on a slant, and that's just going to open up everything else a little bit more. So let me go ahead and show you that. And I like to keep him on his route just in case they're putting that guy in like a purple. Then sometimes you could potentially win. It all just depends on your speed matchup. That's what I highly suggest. So let's see right here if we can actually get a win. Nope, we actually don't get the win, but what you're going to be looking for is between X and square if they're playing man coverage. And also, you also can throw R1's route, so I'll show you R1's route real quick. And also, if they're playing a purple just like this, there's actually ways to beat this inside this, so they're not going to want to play this style of coverage on you, so don't worry about that. And about time we're done with this little scheme, you'll be able to just dissect them. So if they wanted to run a defense where they had like purples like this, you're just gonna feast. If they wanted to run a defense where they had, you know, where they're doing that using a running back, if they were doing something like this, like if they were doing something like this, like I said, there's just gonna be so much that we're gonna be able to do to them. We're gonna basically scramble their head. So don't worry about that. I'm just basically trying to just get you to understand that we have dots, man. You know, so if you want to run this style of coverage, well, if you want to run this play against that style of coverage, what I suggest you taking X, putting them on a slant just like this. And what you're going to be looking for in this style of coverage is going to be that crosser. As you can tell, that crosser is going to get open right there. And a lot of times you'll be able to take that just for a one-play touchdown, as you've seen right there. Now for the second setup, what I love to do is actually take circle, put them on a streak, take X, put them on a drag, and from this point, I like to go ahead and motion them across and then double team that in right there. So all we're doing pretty much is creating a flood concept with the user. Oop, I'm actually only on the linebacker. So let me actually run that again, and then let's actually go over the reads, and then we'll go through the coverages and then show you some gameplay. So let's go ahead and put them right here. Now for the reads, it's really, really simple, and it's just basically the same concept, but it's just throwing the user off because we're actually motioning. And inside our scheme that I'm giving you, you're going to see that we're going to have a lot of motions. And what's good about that play is look how far we can actually pass lead that ball up for an easy dot. Now let's actually go into replay to talk about what you should expect when you run this play, because to me, I think that's really important for you to understand what you should expect or what you should be looking for. So you should always be looking for this right here, as you can tell. But the problem is that with this drag, it's actually going to pull that linebacker. So this is something you have to throw really, really quick. And I'll show you that here in a second after this. So if you don't throw this ball right now, I recommend you just wait for him to make his cut and then actually look for right here. So if you don't throw that ball right now, I recommend you throw it to this guy, or, you know, make a read, a high-low read is what they call it. So if this is your user right here, you can actually still throw this ball right here, which will be open pretty much 9 times out of 10. So it's still the same kind of read. It's just now we're adding a backside drag to see if they're putting any zone drops or, you know, what they're doing on that side. So that's how I like to kind of attack what they're doing over there. So let me kind of show you what I was talking about. So if you want to call that, then you need to make sure you throw that ball really, really quick. So let me go ahead and show you. Hopefully I get a good example here for you. So let's say we snap the ball. So you want to throw that ball right there. You see that? And then you want to turn up the field and just try to get you some extra yards if you see that open. Now, likewise, you can also wait. So let me kind of show you this as well. So boom, go ahead and motion him. And let me show you that you actually can wait and then just hit the drag, you know, when it gets to the sideline. If they don't have a hard flex, you can tell we can just throw that ball right there, maybe turn up field, get about maybe 5, 6, 7 yards, who knows what. And then that way you just drive down the field and we're just mixing it up. Now, likewise, you can do the same exact thing. So you can take X, put him on a streak. You can take circle and motion over, put him on a drag. Now we got the same concept, but we're just motioning a different guy. So our opponent might be thinking, oh, he's coming to run that other play because he motioned an outside receiver. And then in theory, we could just throw that right there. So don't be afraid to actually what's called invert their responsibility. So we're just changing up what they're doing. So that's enough for cover 3. Let me kind of show you against cover 2. And also, I didn't forget about man coverage or cover 4 palms. Let me just give me a second here. But let's take X, put him on the drag. use the setup that I just gave you. And honestly, it's just the reason I love this offense because it's just such simple reads, just so simple. And right there, you can tell X is going to get open. Well, actually, X is going to get baited if they have a cloud flat that's playing it correctly. They're going to get baited. And what I mean by correctly is just zone drop. So this is still going to be your first read regardless. Right here, you always be able to throw that. If you're scared, you can always low ball that, but you want to pass lead that ball inside. That's how I suggest to do it. And also, you can hit this drag really quick too. So if for some reason they're not using that, you can definitely hit that drag. Now, if you wanted to, I don't really like them on a slant. I like them on a drag route, and I'll show you what a slant looks like in case you're curious. But I like them on a drag, but it's still the same exact read. So he would still have that open right there, and that's I can't talk in that position. But let me kind of show you what a backside slant looks like in case you're curious. And let's actually go back against cover 2 because why not? So I don't really like the backside slant. I actually prefer the drag, but in case you're curious, I'll show you what the backside slant looks like. So you can tell it's still going to be the same exact concept. You see, we're still going to have square open. It just, if they play zone, I prefer a drag. But if they were to play man coverage, which I'm about to talk to you now, then that's when I actually prefer that backside slant. So let's say we take X, put him on a slant, right? Take circle, put him on a streak. And then that way, well, actually a fade. You want to put them on a fade just in case they press. But let me go and show you what we're talking about here. So you can tell we're going to have X get open. We're going to have square. We create pretty much a nice little levels concept. It's right there, I throw a pick, but well, about to throw a pick. So you want to be very careful with that, I should say. And in practice mode, they're going to play it kind of weird, but in game, they're not really going to rub together like that. And if you're scared about them rubbing together like that, you can always invert their routes. So you can actually run it like this, and that slant should actually create a little bit more separation for you. So let me go and show you what I'm talking about. So you see right there how you kind of broke them off, and now it's like a little levels concept right there. So if you're worried about them bumping to each other, just take your outside receiver, motion them over, and you're going to be completely fine. So let me show you that here one more time, just with the first setup where we take X, put them on a slant, circle on a streak. And I want to show you that it does work. Yes, it's just that circle on a slant is going to actually get a little bit more separation. So let me go and show you that here. As you can tell, kind of still the same thing, you know, but here, check out this gameplay. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Actually, real quick, if I got you here, I still want to show you cover for palms. I know I did forget, and I didn't want to forget in the video, so let me kind of show you what I like to do. So cover for palms, really, I like to just put a slant, and honestly, what you're gonna be able to do is hit that slant. If you just get a little time, you'll be able to hit that right there on the sideline. Now with that, you actually want to be, you don't want to be on the left hash like I am. If you want to run that concept, you actually want to be on the right hash. So if they're playing any style of match coverage, listen to me. If they play any style, I like to take X, put them on a slant. So let me just go and show you cover for palms, for example, because with the route concept that's on the field, this slant is going to get open. So because that quarter flat is actually not going to match that. And what you're going to be able to do is have that just right there. As long as you get a little time, that's going to get open. Now, quickly, I want to show you the other read that's open too. So let's go back to cover for palms and just show you that way a person just can't sit there and use it as safety on you. Because you might be worried about rail, can't they just use it as safety? So let me show you. So you have square if he could beat his man. Now I repeat, if he could beat his man, but that's a safety that's actually matched onto him. So normally you are going to be able to win that matchup. Now you can run this play stock. I just like it with the slant because it's going to allow you to have two different reads. So that's what I'm going to show you with the slant. So let me go and show you that again. Hopefully I get a little bit of time to let that crosser develop. And what you're going to be able to tell is that we'll have that right there. And normally a receiver will actually be able to beat his man. But regardless, that's the wrap up for part 1. Do let me know if you enjoyed this video or if there's ways I can kind of make this video better for you guys. I'm still kind of experimenting and just trying to make you guys better Madden players, and I'm trying to take my time, break it down correctly, and do everything I need to do on my end to make sure I'm giving you guys right and accurate information. But regardless, that's gonna wrap up for this video. I do hope you have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.